proving myself right that I made the right decision coming here, and I appreciate everybody here. Like it has been a dream because I love Coach Sean Payton. He's a great person, and the offensive line is amazing, and then like the defense is amazing, and then the ownership is amazing. So maybe I was born to be a Bronco. It just took a little time to get here, you know. Had to get over the mountains.
Who doesn't love JK Dobbins? And we have some bummer information as reported by Chris Tomlinson that there may be a foot injury that's going to keep Dobbins out for, well, maybe more than a minute. We'll get to those details here, unfortunately, in a second. It's DMac SMaK for the 12th of November, 2025, and we're brought to you by Journey Spice. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Journey Spice is the best. We love you, Journey Spice. Man, oh man, what would we do without you? With Journey Spice, you can save 10% using the code GETSPICY at Amazon.com, and I keep them right by my side at all times. It's Journey Spice for the win, and yeah, use that QR code. That's the easiest thing to do. And if you look at Journey Spice, look at this, my Journey Spice. What would I do without you? More on Journey Spice in just a little bit. Okay, let's get to the explanation from a doctor. He actually does this. This dude who's a doc does NFL injuries every week. So let's take some time and get into the details about what's going on with JK Dobbins and see.
Rightfully so, after getting tackled and suffered what is likely to be a midfoot sprain. Now let me explain this to you, what this is, where we're getting the information from, and how long he could potentially be out. So if we look at the foot, we have the toes, we have the heel, we have the arch of the foot, okay? Sometimes easier to see on the inside. Now, it's important to understand the arch of the foot is made up by a group of bones and a ligament that runs over through here called the Lisfranc ligament. Now, this ligament is supposed to stabilize the arch of the foot, or we call the midfoot. Now, there's a bunch of bones in here that need to be stable, and the ligament needs to hold them together. If that ligament is loose or weak, then as you put your foot down, the arch starts to collapse, and it's very painful, and you lose explosiveness, and it's very frustrating. So if this was a grade 1 or a mild midfoot sprain, he'd probably miss 2 weeks or so. He would wear a carbon fiber insert, and he'd probably be okay. Last year, Najee Harris played for the whole season with one of these, and for the most part, he did fine. But grade 2s are a different monster. Grade 2s are significant injury. Usually you'll get an x-ray and eventually an MRI in between these two bones, and you'll see a significant separation, which looks like this. And when that separation is too big, you cannot rush people back. Now, this is likely what Kyler Murray is also dealing with. And as a result, if you return too quickly, it will end his season. So they have to be smart with this. They likely, reportedly, got a second opinion, and they announced this morning, earlier today, that he was possibly going to IR with this foot injury. That tells me it is more likely to be a grade 2 moderate than a grade 1 mild. Why? Because milds usually take a week to 3 weeks. Grade 2s usually 4 to 6 weeks. Grade 3s, like Travis Etienne had in his rookie season, are season-ending because they have to put a screw or plates into the midfoot to stabilize the midfoot. So JK Dobbins is likely to miss anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks with this injury, depending on specifics. And when he comes back, he will be fine.
Okay, wow, that is tough news for JK Dobbins, who's been absolutely phenomenal. We'll do the Broncos and the Chiefs by the numbers here in a second. But you knew a couple days after the game that something was wrong because he put out this tweet. Banner at least called the MF hip drop tackle. And here is the video for you, by the way, of the tackle itself from the All-22. So on this, you can see, let's see, with Dobbins, gets the handoff. Okay, we're good, we're open. And look for a hip drop, which where they tackle and they sink their hips. That's a hip drop tackle. Now, it's not as obvious as a lot of hip drop tackles. I'll play it for you again. But you can see that instead of tackling through, the defender is grabbing and yanking down. That's a hip drop. There should have been a penalty on this. There should be a fine on this. And this is what led to the injury for JK Dobbins. So again, it's not the most obvious hip drop tackle, but it indeed is. And it does explain why Dobbins was so upset. I mean, I understand and I get his frustration. So now what? Tyler Bidet, Jaleel McLaughlin, he hasn't played all year. And obviously RJ Harvey step up. But this really hurts. Dobbins has been fantastic, not only in his performance, but in his attitude. And this is the toughest stretch for the Broncos. No doubt about it. They've been playing a bunch of teams aside from the Eagles that just haven't been all that good. Well, you don't get that break anymore. Let's go through it in terms of the Chiefs and the Broncos by the numbers. And this is where it gets a bit scary, y'all. Ain't no doubt about it. When you look at the offense for the Broncos compared to the offense for the Chiefs, it is sobering, to say the least. Look at the Chiefs. Chiefs on the right, Broncos on the left. Offensively, the Chiefs are in the top 10 in basically everything. Turnover margin, +4. Points per game, they're 9th. 26.1. They're a little out of it in the rushing game. Passing yards, they're 5th. They haven't turned the ball over, again, +4. And the Broncos are 21st in that department. I mean, the Broncos offense compared to the Chiefs offense looks anemic, obviously. Red zone percentage, Chiefs are 3rd in the league. Sacks allowed, not bad. And the Broncos are 2nd. That's the one category they're better than the Chiefs in offensively. Not many, but that's one of them. And they have a better rushing game than the Chiefs do as well. Red zone percentage, the Broncos are pretty decent. 3rd down, not compared to the Chiefs, that's for sure. So that's the offense. Now, things get a little bit more interesting when we look at the defense. And this is where the Broncos just do so much better than the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs, 23rd in red zone percentage. So you get in the red zone, in general, you score. They're weak on 3rd down. They allow sacks. The one thing, don't allow sacks, sorry. They don't get pressure, my bad. They don't get pressure on the quarterback. They don't really take the ball away, neither do the Broncos. But the Broncos put the most pressure on any quarterback in the league. They're great on 3rd down. They're great in the red zone. They're great against the run. They're great against the pass, yards per play, scoring. They're just fantastic. You know, this is the Denver Broncos. This is the best defense in the league. This is what you're dealing with. Points per game, Broncos are 3rd in the league. And look at the Chiefs, though. Even though their defense isn't incredible, they are just slightly behind the Broncos in that department. Wow. So this sets up on the surface, and we'll look at special teams here real quick to see if we have anything really interesting going on. Penalties, obviously. Broncos, brutal, 31st in the league with 83 penalties. Horrible. And the Chiefs are a top 10 team. So they're a better disciplined team. And while the Broncos don't give up sacks, look what they do to themselves on penalties. Terrible. Kickoff return, they're good. The Broncos suck in that department. So that's where they've been the worst on kickoff return and on what they give up. Now, good news, Michael Bandy was cut, not for Bandy or his family, but that is a sure sign that Marvin Mims is close to return. We actually have a bunch of Broncos news. But you can see, and when you look at how much they're going to miss Dobbins, look at the running numbers. Look at Dobbins' running numbers next to the Chiefs. I mean, it's awesome. And, you know, you would think Mahomes actually would have much more passing yards than Bo Nix. Not really. Receiving yards, their guy is Travis Kelce. It's incredible. Travis Kelce almost has as many receiving yards as Cortland Sutton. So he's still having a very, very solid year. Finally, when you come to sacks, you can see that Karlaftis is their leader, but I mean, nowhere near the pressure the Broncos have. So here we go. If the Broncos can contain Mahomes and play the defense they should be able to play against him, I think the Broncos can possibly squeak out something like 20-17 win. I mean, that's where I'll go. I'll give them a couple points at home, but likely if they win 20-17, that means they are going to have to stop Patrick Mahomes unless they can do what they did well offensively last week, and that is grind out a 4-minute drive. I will pick the Broncos to win this game 20-17, and we'll spend some time with Mike Sanford tomorrow night going through his take on it, and certainly we'll examine this really in depth starting today with Columbus, Hastings, and DMac on the radio and on the digital, like I said, Altitude After Dark. So there you go. That's the basic stuff. There is some Broncos news. Garon Christian makes his 11th stop in the NFL as he has been signed to the 53 from the Cowboys practice squad to be an offensive tackle. It's more of a backup sort of thing. Like I told you about Bandy being released. Okay, fine. That means Mims. That's good news for Mims coming back here shortly. Bad news. Travis Hunter goes on IR. He's out for the year with an LCL. I'm not really familiar with LCLs, but that is indeed the case. Meanwhile, rookie inside linebacker Kareem Reed, one of the undrafted rookies, he has a hamstring. He's on IR. And they release offensive tackle Marquez Cox from the practice squad. So you have Alex Singleton out with his cancer scare, Reed both out. Drew Sanders ain't back yet. You got some issues going on at inside linebacker. So Stranad and Greenlaw are your guys. And other than that, there is not a lot of depth there. Again, we'll update you as things go on, and we'll hear more from Sean Payton and the Broncos as they get ready for practice. So there you go, man. I think we're going to have good news against the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It should promise to be one hell of a matchup in what looks to be the most telling, biggest Broncos regular season game probably since 2015. Exciting, top to bottom exciting. In terms of, well, what else to expect? I can't wait to dig into it. Cannot wait. Meanwhile, we have Avalanche and Nuggets news. Good news for both teams to get to. And great news for Gabe Landeskog. We'll get to that in just a second.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Journey Spice is the absolute best. Get spicy. Go to Amazon.com. Use that code and save yourself 10%. I love you, Journey Spice. The Nuggets are now 8-2. They handled the Sacramento Kings 122-108. They play in LA tonight. So quick turnaround for them. Nikola Jokic, not a triple-double, but 35, 15, and 7. 16 of 19 shooting. Unbelievable. 1 of 2 from 3. But his efficiency and what he's doing this year is absolutely phenomenal. Jamal Murray with 23. Aaron Gordon with 17. Cam Johnson with 5. And we'll get to Cam Johnson. And 0 for 3 from 3. So not great. Jonas Valanciunas, though, came up with 10 points and 7 rebounds. Played great on our own. Scott Hastings caught up with Jonas after the game to get his thoughts on a Nuggets team that's now won 5 in a row, the double Beardos. And we'll see Scott with Tim Hardaway Jr. That's another Beardo connection as well. David Adelman on, the sublime performance of Jokic.
It reminds me.
MVP, rookie, one player of the week, which seems like, yeah, okay, not a big deal. But he just keeps moving on. And an 8-2 start, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. One of the keys obviously has been Jamal Murray, who came in not only in better physical shape, but in terms of what's going on off the bench, and the lead grew with the second unit in. Tim Hardaway Jr., 24 minutes. Bruce Brown closed the game. So both Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. had more minutes than Cam Johnson. We'll get to him in a second. Hardaway Jr., 2 of 6 from 3, 6 points. And, really a positive performance. So it was great to see Scott catch up with THJ. Again, the Beardos.
It seems like, tonight it might be your night or Bruce's night or this guy. Have you been a team that has so many different options, it seems like?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you said, it could be anybody's night. I said that a couple games ago. Tonight, Bruce had it going. Find a hot hand. He had an injury on both ends of the floor. That's how loaded this team is. So just happy to be a part of it.
So 8th of the season gone right now. What have you learned about your new teammates?
I learned once we start clicking on all the cylinders, it's going to be scary. So just happy to trust this whole situation, trust this whole process, and I'm just staying with it.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, and it's allowed Cam Johnson to, again, defensively, the Nuggets are playing amazing, especially their three-point defense. Best in the NBA. They have a top 5 offense and defense. Okay, fine. And if that's why Cam Johnson was brought in for Michael Porter Jr., and that's the biggest difference in their winning, who am I to complain about? But it wasn't Cam Johnson closing. It wasn't Cam Johnson hitting threes. I guess he's getting paid $18 million a year right now to play extraordinary three-point defense. Okay, David Adelman, again, and he's been asked about Cam Johnson game after game. Okay, it's been odd that there are so many excuses and explanations, but hey, we're only 10 games in, and I'm sure there are going to be games where Cam Johnson is the hero, and at least there's something to be added with the defense. So, okay. All of that being said, the only thing I would caution is that if there's a move to be made to make this team better, you have to be a little bit cold-hearted. Don't forget, Bruce Brown was signed a free agent deal with the Pacers only to be traded in that first year. So loyalty only goes so far. If it's all working out, fine. But if there are rumors that the Sacramento Kings are already looking to sell off their best players and DeRozan, Levine, and Sabonis. So if there are moves to be had at some point during the year, and this is what you're getting out of Cam Johnson, then perhaps he's somebody that you could move. If not, look at the guys that just aren't playing and part of the team. Jalen Pickett and Zeke Naji, if you can put a package together, I don't know. This team is just too good. It's too good to not give it its best shot to win, and I look forward to seeing that. And listen, nothing against Cam Johnson. I hope he makes it. I hope it's great. It's just been a tough start. A note, on the Altitude TV broadcast, it was revealed that Katie Winy is going through a horrible time as her father died unexpectedly. And I love Katie. I think she's a wonderful person, incredibly talented. And the photos and videos of her as a little girl with her dad are heartbreaking in light of the tragedy that's bestowed upon the Winy family. So our deepest sympathies, our thoughts, our love go to Katie and her family. As one of the better things that has happened to me after being fired from the Fan is really having a strong connection with a new family. And Katie has made me feel incredibly welcome, and I just feel horrible for her and her family. So we love you, Katie. And I mention this because there's a likelihood that, and Katie went public with this as well, that she rejoins the broadcast Saturday in Minnesota, her home state. So we welcome her back, and I'm sure there'll be some tears and some emotional moments with all of that. But we miss Katie, and we can't wait to see her back on TV. Moving on to the Avalanche, double dipperoo, and they had the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, who were streaking 7 in a row. But the Avs, again, took care of business. Scoring a goal 26 seconds into the game, something like that. And then, more McKinnon assists, Makar involved, a couple of power play goals, an empty netter. It was just an awesome night against a team the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, who had been playing really, really well. All right, let's go through the end of the game, close to the end. Ducks pull up the goalie with, a lot of time left on the clock. That's where I watched the end of the games from, down there in the corner. All we have to do is get the puck up the ice. All we have to do is get it on Nathan MacKinnon's stick. Just like that, there's Parker Kelly. Sound the horn. Should be noted, too, that Scott Wedgwood got the start. And I don't think we're seeing a 1A, 1B sort of thing. I think we're seeing goaltender 1 is Wedgwood, and goal number 2 is Blackwood. Now, they're going to get Blackwood in the mix. They have to. They need to. I think they will. But this was a big game against a red-hot team, and they went with Wedgwood, not Blackwood. Now, the Sabres come to town. That's a bit of a different story on Thursday, and the Islanders on Sunday. So I would anticipate Blackwood goes Thursday and Wedgwood goes back in on Sunday. And when it comes to bigger games, I think it is going to be Wedgwood, not Blackwood. And we'll see how it all sort of sorts itself out. But Wedgwood's been playing incredible. He made one crazy save where he's like dancing and spinning around and kicking the puck and not exactly goalie fundamentals. He talks about that save.
Yeah, it settles you in. Obviously, you don't feel like, you obviously feel like you got to be dialed, but it's just a little bit.
Wrong cut, here it is.
Just dancing, that's all it is. No, good shot, kind of came through, used our D-man as a screen, popped off my shoulder, and then as I looked up, it was just black puck on black ceiling, so I had to take a second to locate it, and then their guy was coming back door, we tied him up, everybody jammed, and then as it went through, the puck was still laying there, and all I had left was a leg to kick on it, so yeah, not the prototypical goalie situation, but kept the puck out of the net, and that's all that matters. For you right now.
And in terms of being up 1-0 just seconds into the game.
Yeah, it settles you in. Obviously, you don't feel like, you obviously feel like you got to be dialed, but it's just a little bit of like, all right, there's cushion, right? So we've done it a few times. We've had it happen against us a few times, and I think in all of them we've come out in a pretty good spot. So just obviously even keel to the guys, whether we're up or down. It's back to work and trust the game plan.
Yeah, 28 seconds into the game, Lehkonen from MacKinnon and Makar made it 1-0. It did get tied up 1-1 in the first, but the momentum was still with them. And then Gabriel Landeskog gave them a lead they would not relinquish, and this goal was not denied, which was great. You could hear some Gabe chants after he scored the goal. This was some more Landy chants. Here is Jared Bednar on Gabe, getting off the schneid.
For the third time. Yeah, no, he's had some tough luck, obviously. Still playing well, he's been chipping in and, finally he gets one on the board that counts. So it was really nice to see. I love the ovation from the crowd, and they were into it as well. So big goal for us.
Yeah.
Gabe, are you happy you got the goal?
Thought maybe my stick maybe caught the goalie stick or something. Goaltender interference, you never know. But got back to the bench, and obviously there was nothing to argue there, so felt good, no doubt.
I know you got the one in the playoffs, and that maybe would have, had you not had that one, maybe made it a little bit worse. But was this something that was nice to get put behind you, or were you not really thinking about it?
Yeah, no, it was nice to move on. I think it's my second longest goal drought in my career, so it was nice to just be done with it. Had a decent amount of looks and some bounces that don't go your way, and that's the way the game works. And sometimes you get easy ones, and sometimes you really got to work for them. And there's a lot of guys in this room and in this league that make it look easy to score in this league, but it's not. So nonetheless, big 2 points for us, and it's a good team over there, so that's important.
Well, what's funny is that this was not just an issue for a lot of Avs fans, and everybody's rooting for Landy, obviously, but even his children apparently give their dad a hard time about it.
Just kind of make it a little bit easier for you to go back out there now.
Maybe a little bit, but I think for me, I've tried to just kind of focus on my game and what I do on a shift-to-shift basis, and the outcome is what it is. I try not to focus on the outcome, just kind of surrender that and focus on what I can do on a shift-to-shift basis. And but having said that, obviously you'd like to go home and know that you at least got one on the score sheet, and then just kind of move forward with it. So my son will be happy tomorrow morning when he wakes up to the news. So that'll be good. He keeps asking me, and I just got no, not yet. So this will feel good.
This team is now.
Good. I'm glad the pressure is off Gabe from his son. Meanwhile, Jared Bednar talks about what the secret sauce is to not only winning, but beating good teams that are on streaks. Bedsy?
I think it's good commitment to defend the right way. Offense has been rolling. Honestly, I think it's a little bit of everything. It's trying to become as well-rounded as we can be. We've been getting good goaltending, good special teams. Like I said, the commitment on the defensive side has been good, and we're getting contributions offensively from different lines and different guys every night, and consistency's been good. So, that's just kind of focusing on our process and what it takes for us to be successful. And it's been a gauntlet of games. Like, it's a tough schedule. Like, we've been in and out of town and playing some back-to-backs, and I don't think it's easy for anybody. It's not exclusive to us. But, I could tell again today that we were lacking a little bit of energy at times. And the fourth line, again, for me, stepped up big time tonight. Like, they had a really good night, and that you can tell they're visibly got a little bit more jump than the rest of our guys that play a lot. So, rest is key at this point, and we finally get a little bit of a breather here coming up in a couple games.
Calling then, Evan.
For the Avs. They have 27 points. They are 4 points clear of the second place team in the NHL. How about that? And they do have a little, it's not the most crazy schedule. They got a game on Thursday and then a game on Sunday. So there is some time, and it's been fun. It's been a blast, as Wedgwood says.
Yeah, it's fun to win, obviously, and put the puck in the net. Had a tough challenge in Edmonton to start the game, and then we obviously took over, and then another tough team in Vancouver. These guys are going to be tough and find a way to get 2 points in all of those. Regardless of that score in Edmonton, it's a team you don't feel like you really knock them out of it until it gets late in the third. So it's just putting full 60 minutes together. I think there's been some couple lapses that you can't play a perfect game as much as you want to, but I think when we do make it, we've been good at kind of cleaning up the mistakes and just keep collecting points, and it's fun to win, and this is what that team wants to do.
How much easier does it?
I mean, 11-1-5. 11-1-5. The overtime losses are annoying, but even if you were to win 3, we're just talking about a couple of points here. It's been amazing. One regulation loss. That was to the Bruins in Boston. One. And that was on a back-to-back, Bruins and Jersey. And that was a wacky afternoon game, too. So what exactly are you working on now? And this is pretty awesome, as Bedsy gives us a great sort of directive, pushing the standards of perfection.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a marathon, so you're not always going to have your A game. You have to find ways to win when, you got some guys that maybe aren't at their best, or the whole team is a little sluggish. You got to, so we talk about those things, but good on the guys for just sort of staying focused and committed to what we're doing, even if we're not great at times. There's still lots of challenges, there's something to learn from every game, whether you win or lose. And I think our guys have been doing a good job, sort of taking in the information we're giving them and still staying focused. And it's just it's no different than any other year. We're just trying to just keep pushing the standard to as close to perfection as we can. And some days it's a long ways away, and some days it's pretty close.
Pushing the standard to perfection as close as we can. That's what I'm doing every day on DMac SMaK. I guess. I'll be at Stoney's on Lincoln tomorrow night. If you want to say, hey, watching the Avs, then I'll go over to the Avs afterwards and watching Thursday night football. And yeah, we're getting fired up for the Broncos and the Chiefs huge game on Sunday, and then go over to the Avs too. So it's all happening. It's been an incredible run this fall. Somebody asked me today, is this ever happened? And I do not recall it. I do not recall a time when the Avs were arguably the best team in the NHL. When the Nuggets, damn close with the best player and arguably the best team in the NBA, and the Broncos tied for the best record in the NFL. Seriously, we are close to halfway through November. We've never had anything like this, anything. And man, is it.
Which one are you, a dog or a cat? Exactly. Let's go.